And now we just line up the board. Notice these locks are going into place here and here, and then slide it forward. And now 2 screws. The other side panel on as well, so let me just do it this way. Don't need to make a big thing about that, it's just the same as we've done on the other side. Just need a hammer. Right, let's get the connections now in the back. No particular order, but remember we had to put an aerial on, and here's the wireless card waiting for that aerial. So let's just work our way from the bottom up to the top. Don't over tighten this, just needs a light tighten, and this aerial can bend into position wherever it suits. Next cable to go in is the monitor cable. This machine now has 2 possible connections for that. There's the onboard graphics card, but we've just fitted an add-in graphics card which gives us a second point. Whenever we add in a graphics card like that, it becomes the primary graphics card, so it should take the first monitor. So just push it into place and then gently tighten up the thumb screws. Don't over tighten these, it's just to stop the plug falling out. Next we'll connect up the keyboard and mouse. In this case they're both USB. It could be on an older keyboard or mouse that it uses the round PS2 connections, but this one is going to go into USB. So we'll just plug them in here and here. Network cable into the Ethernet port. Clicks into place. Now audio from the speakers goes into the green socket here. Pink socket would be for a microphone. We don't have one of these at the moment. And that's all the connections made apart from the power. So we'll put that in last. Power connection in up here and switch on. Okay, let's switch it on. Notice the power light comes on, the hard disk activity light starts, and we're even getting activity on the CD-ROM drive. The beep was the passing of the power on self-test. And we've got activity from the power on self-test onto the monitor screen. And there we are, starting Windows 7 from the hard disk drive. So log in, put in the password, if there is one, and allow the machine to put into the desktop. Now we can have a look at the computer properties. Right click on the computer, select properties, and go into device manager. We're looking for these devices, particularly the 2 devices we've just fitted, the display adapter. You click on the triangle there, it expands, and we can see the detail of the display adapter. It's an ATI Radeon HD 4350. And we also added in a network adapter. There are 2 on the list here because we had the onboard network for the cable, and we've also added in a wireless device, and that's on the list as well. So these are the 2 possible connections to the internet, wirelessly or through the gigabit Ethernet cable. And because they're in here without any warning marks at it, the devices have installed correctly. We may have to add in drivers, in which case they could be provided from the CD or downloaded from the website. So you go into the Internet Explorer, see if we've got a web page. We shouldn't really have a web page at this stage because the college has a proxy server and we need to type in the IP address and port details so that the computer knows where to find that proxy server, which is our link onto the internet. So if we leave this long enough, this will actually time out and give us an error message on screen. There it is, telling us that we've not been able to make a connection onto the internet. And because we know why, let's just go in and change that into Tools and Internet Options, into Connections, and then LAN Settings, and tick the box that says Proxy Server. Type in the IP address of the proxy server, 172.16.16.250, and the port address, 8080. Tick the box to bypass the proxy for local addresses, and click OK out of all of that. If we're really lucky, pressing a refresh will give us a web page, and there we are. Let's go for another web page, www.google.co.uk, and there we have it up. So we've managed to set the internet settings correctly for the cable connection. Now we need to do the same for the wireless connection. Right. So into Control Panel and Network and Sharing Center. And now wireless connection could be had if we actually had a working wireless card. That's all I see why we don't. Okay, into wireless connections, and here we can see on the list on our site survey that it's come up with one wireless connection available called Competition. This is our wireless access point, and we want to connect to that wireless. This particular wireless access point uses WPA security. We have different types of security available, so we have to select the right one and then type in the network security key, the password that you'll be provided with. And then just click OK, and it should now make a connection whenever it's within range. Now we can check that the connection has been made by disconnecting the wire and connecting through the wireless connection, and we would again get the connection through Internet Explorer onto a web page. So if you get to that point, that's you finished the first task and completed the first practical assessment for the Cisco exam. Well done.